So welcome to the Deal Final Corner. So this is your weekly property talk show brought to you by Property Filter. So it's hosted by myself, Guillaume Black, your favorite Frenchman. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Property Filter, and it's the UK's highest rated platform to find deals. And as you know, we're on a mission to empower our property investor and deal sourcer members to find another 1,000 deals this year like they did last year, thanks to the Property Filter blueprint. And the purpose with your Deal Final Corner is to give you more and the best of the available resources by inviting expert guests who will share with you the latest and most current strategies, tactics, and secrets about what actually works right now in terms of finding, making deals, and the reality of systemizing and running a high-performance business in property. It really is my pleasure to introduce you to Lucy Ingram today. So Lucy is a proud military veteran, business owner, mindset enthusiast, and with 21 years in the Royal Navy, she served globally. And thank you so much for your service, including in Iraq, in Eastern Europe, and as an excellent competitive, she excelled in competitive military snowboarding as well. And I know snowboard is a big part of brand and things like that. So I look forward to hear more about this. And since a couple of years, she left the Navy in 2020. Lucy's become a full-time property developer and entrepreneur, and with her military experience, really shaped a resilience mindset, which has been, crucial. As you know, all of us know the ups and downs and property, and you need to keep pushing if you want to be successful in your property ventures. And as a side work, she's also a high-performance coach, where she leverages military insights to help entrepreneurs unlock their potential. And she believes that harnessing their inner energy is key to boosting confidence and productivity, allowing their business and personalities to thrive. And her mantra, I love it, is enjoy the ride, and we'll hear more of that. And this is reflecting on a passion for life, travel, adventure, all things riding, which she aims to inspire for you today and her clients. So I'm very, very happy to have her on the corner today. And what you can expect, so Lucy will go through energy as a secret force to achieving extraordinary results, the 6 actionable strategies you can use to boost your energy and differentiate yourself from your competition, as well as some resilience tips and growth techniques from a military background that you can use and will be essential for anything you want to do, in business or in property in general. And then we'll have an exclusive Q&A with Lucy. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing more about Lucy's talk today. I'm very much listening myself, taking notes. So please give a massive Property Filter virtual welcome to Miss Lucy Ingram. Over to you.
Well, thank you for an incredible introduction. Very, very kind of you. Right, I'm just going to get a little chat box up so we can try and get a little bit of two-way going as well, which is always really good. So let me just I've got 2 screens going here, which again is testing my technical ability a little bit. Right, okay, so first things first, just to make sure that I'm in the right place, why don't you just tap in to the chat box if you would like a little bit more energy in your life. And if you would just type energy into the chat box, let's just get some finger tapping going. Let's see who's online, who's engaged. Yes, amazing. Yes, amazing. Right, okay, and then just one more. I want you to tap into the chat box, hell yes, if you would like to stand out from the crowd in your chosen niche. So again, in the chat box, hell yeah, if you would like to stand out from the crowd in your chosen niche. Yes, we have got a very, very engaged audience here, which is incredible, amazing. Right, okay, well, thank you guys. Over the course of the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to be explaining to you all exactly why those 2 things are connected, and why I passionately believe that energy is the critical force at work behind achieving electrifying results. But I just want to say firstly, again, thank you so much for that incredible introduction. Is that the right pronunciation? Because I'm so terrible, even at pronouncing.
Don't worry, I get called all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I even Googled it, because you can get the little Googles, can't you, the little voice notes to try.
It's Guillaume.
Guillaume, all right. Okay.
But don't worry, that sells 35 other people.
Thank you for inviting me on this afternoon to present to your community. It's a massive honour, it's a huge privilege, and I'm sure your community will appreciate the blood, sweat and tears that you put into delivering as much value to your community as possible. So like a massive virtual show of our appreciation to you for that. I'm sure everyone appreciates you massively. And secondly, just to all of you who have found the time this afternoon to be here, to be present, and to bring the energy, and again to contribute to making this virtual event this afternoon such a success for everyone. So again, a massive virtual show of appreciation for all of you guys. Right, okay, so I'm just gonna, hopefully we don't have too much of a lag with the slides. Okay, cool. So a little bit about me before I jump into the main part of the presentation. So my name is Lucy Ingram and I am based in the beautiful ocean city that is Plymouth, way down there in the southwest. If anyone else is from the southwest, then let me know in the chat. But there I live with my partner in crime, my ride or die, my better half, Stephanie. We have been together now for 15 years, married for 8, and there we live with our crazy French bulldog, Cersei, who is going to come in a minute like a wrecking ball because she just come back in off her walk. Queen by nature, queen by name. And as a lot of you in the audience this afternoon, I have been in property for a couple of years now. I've actually been in property for about coming up 5 years. We've done quite a bit in a relatively short period of time. We started off just as COVID hit. We started off in the rent-to-rent, HMO and SA space. We managed to build a portfolio of 50 units in less than 6 months, which was a little bit of a whirlwind to say the least. We have built up a relatively small portfolio, mostly consisting of buy-to-let SAs, and we've done commercial to residential conversions. We converted an old 500 square metre care home into 7 flats. We sold off all the flats except for one. We kept the best one for ourselves. And more recently, we renovated a block of 3 flats. So done quite a bit in a relatively short period of time. So I'm here today with my high performance coaching hat on, but if anyone does have any questions later on property, I'm happy to answer those as well. And I also stand in front of you this afternoon as a very proud veteran of 21-year service, all because at the very tender age of sweet 16, although there was nothing tender or sweet about me at 16, I can promise you that, I made the best decision of my life and decided to join the Royal Navy on the 31st of October 2001, which was about a month after 9/11 happened, so a little bit of a crazy time. And yeah, the best decision I ever made. Went all over the world, literally to the 4 corners of the globe, a very, very diverse career. I have come under mortar fire. I've been a prison warden out in the middle of the Iraqi desert. I've steered warships towards drug runners and pirates. I have run COVID wards, and I've also rehabilitated servicemen and women back from some pretty catastrophic blast and brain injury. So a massive honour and a privilege to have had that career. And so just sharing with you, I guess, a little bit of a snapshot into the unique experiences and challenges that I had right up until I made the second best decision of my life, and that was to leave the Royal Navy, which I did on my 37th birthday in the summer of 22, to jump into the very, very crazy world of property, entrepreneurship and business. Now, I'm just giving you, again, a little bit of an insight into my story, just to give you a little bit of context as, you know, the person that I am today, the person that stands in front of you right now. And it, you know, it's very much set the context for the way that I approach my life. So just a little bit about me. Right, okay, so is this presentation for you this afternoon? Well, it is for you if you are ready to supercharge your energy across all aspects of your life. You maybe have struggled to find your flow up until now and maybe feel like this has held you back. You want to wake up each morning feeling bright, fresh, rather than knackered and haggard, Anyone with me on that? And you believe that having more energy is going to enable you to accomplish your goals more effectively. You want to seek purpose in life, and you want to have meaning. You want to create experiences and connections with others that drive you. You want to do more, you want to see more, and you want to be more. And this presentation this afternoon is for you if you don't just want to float through life surviving, going through the motions. You want to thrive and maximize every single opportunity, and you are ready for electrifying results in Q4 2024 and beyond. And if that sounds like a little bit of you, then let's see some comments, some more hell yeah, give me some of that in the comments. See if we're all there. Who we got? I've actually got my contacts in this afternoon, and I'm still blind as a bat. So if I'm squinting, it's because I'm struggling to see. But I can see some hell yeah, some yes, some yay. Bring it on! Amazing. Okay, cool. So, if you like growth, you like a challenge, you seek the performance edge in everything that you do, then I would say that you are my kind of person. And get comfy, grab a brew, grab some water, maybe take some pictures if there's something that resonates with you, ask some questions at the end. And because hopefully, you know, what I'm going to discuss with you this afternoon is going to resonate on a level, and you're going to come away with a really good amount of value. Okay, right, so what am I here to talk about this afternoon? So firstly, what I'm here to talk about is energy. Hopefully you guys got that. Number two, why I think energy is the critical force at work behind achieving electrifying results. And thirdly, how each and every one of you in this virtual room has got the power within you to generate consistent and positive energy flow. Okay, so what I have come to realise throughout my time on this earth so far is that in order to achieve extraordinary things in life, there is one thing that is unequivocally associated with high performance and happiness, that so many of us are inadvertently trying to create more and more of every single day. And you guessed it, it's energy, okay? Why else would we all be seeking the holy grail of 8 hours sleep a night? So I just want to do a little bit of feedback. Who here actually gets 8 hours sleep a night? And again, if you do, just tap me into the chat box. If you get 8 hours sleep on average, then let me know. Let's see what we got. 10 hours, 54 yesterday. Yeah, like it, very, very precise. Mostly, but I need more. 7, nowhere near. Normally when I'm in an in-person room, we'll play a little game and see how low we can get. So yeah, let me know. So we got 6, we got 7, need more, 7, sometimes 4. 4 hours is probably like the lowest that I go down to, but a lot of people in most audiences in this type of environment where you are high achievers, entrepreneurs, go-getters, hustlers, 4 to 5 hours is not uncommon. So yeah, guys, thank you. Between 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 6. Wicked. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, so why else would we be seeking that holy grail of 8 hours sleep a night? Why else would a little well-known drug called caffeine be so socially acceptable? And why else would a sports drink highly associated with elite action sports claim to give you wigs? Okay, and it is true that we live in a digitally driven world right now with everything at our fingertips, for sure. So the ability to generate consistent energy flow is more important than ever. The point that I want to try and make out of this is that in so many areas of our lives, energy is intrinsically linked to positive outcomes. Okay, so why are we so obsessed with seeking our true purpose in life? Well, because it gives us the fire in our bellies and a spring in our step? Why do we strive to build structure and routine into our lives? Well, because it organises our life and our minds, and it amplifies our spare capacity so we can be more productive. And why does taking action give us all such a massive kick? And that's because action leads, okay, which spurs on further action, and so on and so on. So again, energy is intrinsically linked to positive outcomes. Is this making sense so far, by the way? Again, just let me, normally in the room, I can see some cameras, but not everybody on my screen. Is this making sense? Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Wicked. Okay, so what is energy? Like, what exactly is energy? Well, energy is the human engine that powers our ability to perform, to innovate, and to navigate the complexities of life. But again, like, what does that actually mean to an audience of property professionals, high achievers, entrepreneurs, business owners? Like, what does that actually mean? Well, in my opinion, it means that if we can identify the most effective fuel that will allow us to produce the highest amounts of energy in the most efficient way possible, then we can learn to harness this energy, yeah? And we can use it to our advantage. Let's call it your performance edge in everything that you do. So if you can understand what energy is, how it is created, and then learn to leverage it, this is going to be truly transformative to both your business and your life. Okay, so again, let's get the chat box going. If you agree with me, just say yes, okay? So do you agree with me that we are actually living in a world where, I've not even said it, I've not even said it yet, and I've got some yeses, love it. So do you agree that we are living in a world that is actually designed to drain our energy? And again, if you agree with that, then just give me a yes in the comments. So we live in a world that is designed to drain our energy. And in today's society, there is one precious thing that everyone is trying to monetize. Okay, and have a little think about what that is. What is the one precious thing that everyone wants to monetize? It's attention. Yes, gold star, gold star. Attention, of course it is. More and more money is being spent on ingenious ways in which to buy and capture your attention. And this means that you are constantly connected in more ways than you have ever been. And if you agree with that, you know, amen to that, because I certainly agree with that. There is no longer an ability to switch off our minds and switch off our bodies in order to try and rest and recover. Okay, and as technology improves, in theory, we should be doing less, right? But the reality is we are more active and busy than we have ever been. So that constant feeling of fatigue, tiredness, overwhelm is like more present than it has ever been. So today, energy is like one of the most important things that we can do, that we can learn to generate in order to overcome this feeling and navigate those complexities and anxieties that the modern day world is throwing at us. For 10 years of my 21-year career in the military, I was a physical training instructor, so I was PT, and I was a rehab coach, and I actually got a first class honours degree in exercise rehab, which was pretty good for a kid that left school at 16. Well, I was 15 when I left, with no qualifications, and the only thing that I had was a massive chip on my shoulder. That's a different story for a different day. But I had the honour and the privilege, again, to work with people at both ends of the energy spectrum, if you like. I got to work with people that struggled on a day-to-day basis in order to muster that energy to progress from good to great, whether that was rehabilitating themselves back from injury, or whether that was kind of maintaining their fitness levels in order to be able to fight and win. And I also got to work with people at the other end of that spectrum, the ones who were able to achieve, to show up and perform day in and day out. And what I witnessed from this group of people is that they all demonstrated a very similar set of behaviours, which included having well-defined goals, a strict discipline, a resilient mindset, a positive self-concept. They had an eagerness and a will to learn and grow. I witnessed from this group of people where they had all of these behaviours, where it was innate within them. It was a part of their daily makeup, their daily routine. It was almost organic. Is that they all had this miraculous ability to generate energy, which created huge power surges that allowed them to operate at a much, much higher frequency, significantly increasing their drive and enthusiasm and motivation to succeed, to show up, and not just in little like bursts of time, but over and over consistently, day in and day out. The conclusion that I came to is that energy, the ability to generate energy on demand, is a skill. And it's a skill that can be learned, nurtured, and it can be mastered. And again, if this is making sense, and just hands up or just let me know in the chat box if you're following me, if this is resonating with you on any level. Thank you, guys. Cool. So based off that, okay, with that in mind, I created a framework that is based off this philosophy, okay? And my experiences from both the military and the last 5 years or so in business. And it's designed, the framework, for those entrepreneurs, business owners who are struggling, okay, to consistently bring the energy and show up in order to stand out from the competition in their chosen niches, which is absolutely what you have to do to be able to boldly progress and take your business to the next level. So I'm now on a mission. I'm on a mission to empower ambitious entrepreneurs who want to grow their business through bringing the energy, bringing the confidence, building confidence, intrinsic motivation, and standing out from the crowd. So I'm just going to give you a little bit, I guess, of a flavour of each one of these strategies. So I call these the energy boosters. And number one, we've got discovering your purpose, because knowing your why, knowing your very reason for being, is going to energize your every waking moment. And I'm going to come on to this in a little bit more in the next slide. Number two, determining your destination. So knowing where you're going and how you're going to get there is going to give you the strength and the focus to stay committed to your goals. Number three, developing your mindset. Okay, having the right frame of mind is going to give you the enthusiasm and the resilience to grow and to see opportunity in every challenge, which, let's face it, in the world of property, challenges is a daily occurrence. Number four, deploying discipline. Okay, this is the small habits, the positive habits that we build, the routine, that is going to give us the boost when the challenges start to come in, when the going gets tough. Number five, and this is a massive one, and something actually a lot of my clients and mentees really struggle with in the first instance, is driving their profile, putting themselves out there, projecting themselves out there into the ether. And whether that's due to just self-sabotage, lack of confidence, overwhelm, imposter syndrome, all of those things, whatever that is that prevents them from doing that. But by confidently placing yourself within your chosen niches, you're going to give off an energy, a glow, a vibrancy that is going to attract your crowd. So whether that is you're looking for investors that want to invest into your property projects, whether that's potential JV partners, whether that is distressed landlords, that you want to be able to kind of take their pain away. Whatever niche you're in, everyone has an audience. Everyone has an ideal client that they are trying to communicate with in some way, shape or form. And let's face it, the way in which we market ourselves is probably one of the most important ways in which we can generate opportunities and leads into our business. And again, if you agree with that, let me know. This is making sense. Cool. Okay. So last but not least, Number 6, daring to take action, okay? And this is arguably the most important out of all of them. And if you can successfully deploy 1 to 5, then you are going to be positively charged and ready to unleash hell fire. But the thing is this, you got to light the fuse, right? You have to take action. There's no point in signing up to every webinar, signing up to a new mastermind, a new mentorship, reading like every single Audible known to man. You know, we have to take the action as well as learning. So what hopefully you can see from these energy boosters is that they are more than just concepts, okay? They're actionable strategies that require more than just how we think about a problem, but also deliberate action on our part as well. So if we can master this, we can master these 6 strategies. It's not just going to improve our mindset, okay? Mindset is like, you know, the fashionable word right now, but that's not enough, okay? By implementing and locking into our power center, which I'm going to talk about in a second, our intrinsic motivation, it's not going to just improve our mindset, it's going to level up our whole behavior as well. Okay, so just due to time-ins, I'm just going to delve a little bit deeper this afternoon into energy booster number 1, which is discovering your purpose. So what is your purpose? What is purpose? Well, it is a question as old as time. And even Aristotle in 4th century BC pondered the question that everything in life had purpose. And if we look at the Oxford Dictionary, what we'll see is 2 definitions, right? So we've got number 1, the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. And number 2, a person's sense of resolve or determination. If we put those 2 together in the context of ourselves, what we get is our very reason for being, okay? Our very own existence, what ultimately drives us. Now, thousands of years ago, as hunter-gatherers, the human purpose was very, very simple. Okay, wake up, go and hunt for food, bring the food back, build a fire, cook the food, eat the food, watch a sunset, have a cuddle maybe, go to sleep, rinse and repeat. Okay, that was the purpose. And this purpose gave everyday meaning. It gave a set of goals to strive for when the sun went down, a sense of reward when everything had been achieved for the day. But today, things are very, very different. We live in a fast-paced, digitally driven world with everything at our fingertips. And so the struggle is different. Okay, who agrees with that? The struggle today is very, very different. We are no longer fighting for survival, okay? Thinking about like Maslow's hierarchy. Today, we are fighting for a rich and abundant life, okay? Whether that is success, wealth, longevity, meaningful connections, fulfillment, or just experiences. Yet we are all being pulled in a million different directions all at once. And there is opportunities and temptations everywhere. And so we now find more people than ever feeling without purpose, empty, lost, hopeless, overwhelmed. Therefore, finding some level of purpose in life seems more important than ever. Because a life without purpose is a life without meaning. And meaning is what drives true happiness, joy, and the most organic form of energy generation. Yet the problem today is that so many people are spending their lives on autopilot, reacting day to day, situation to situation, rather than being proactive and figuring out the needs and values that drive them. And maybe you can identify with those words in yourself at the minute, maybe that's where you used to be, or maybe you know someone very close to you that sounds like that resonates with them. In the Riding High movement, which is my community, I define purpose as living with intention in order to reach a destination that has both personal meaning and adds value to the world. So I believe that in order to generate consistent and positive energy flow and build confidence in how you project yourself in all aspects of your life, you need to look really closely at this thing called purpose. So again, a little bit of engagement, guys. Let me know in the comments what benefits or advantages you think that knowing your purpose is going to give you in your life. So just a few, let's see. What benefits or advantages do you think that knowing your purpose or being connected to your purpose is going to give you in your business and your life, more importantly, your life? Direction, motivation, direction, drive, love it. Direction and confidence, love it. Yeah, great shares, guys. World peace, love it. Drive, yeah. Confidence, drive, fulfillment, yeah, great one. Traction, yes, traction. Really good shares, thank you. It just goes to show a sense of value. Yes, I love that one. It's so important to feel like we are providing value to the world. So here are some of the benefits that people that I've worked with have told me that they've experienced from reconnecting to their purpose, and a lot of what you've just said. Feeling like in their flow, burning with passion, feeling in harmony with myself, never having to work another day in my life, increased confidence, giving life real meaning. Because if life has meaning, then this is going to lead to fulfillment. And in turn, this brings us to a heightened state of clarity, a state of drive, organic drive, and of course, an endless supply of energy, allowing you to ride high in your life every single day. Great feeling of significance. Yeah, I love that one, Anthony. Thank you. Awesome shares. Okay, so how do we get there? We get there. Well, in order to get closer to your purpose, you must find your power center. So does anyone recognize the diagram on the slide now? Does anyone recognize it? Again, in the chat, just if you do, give it a few seconds, see if anyone recognizes this. Okay, so I'll put you out of your misery. This is yes, but I'm so blind. Asim, yes, thank you. Gold star. Ikigai, yes, perfect. Ikigai. And Ikigai has been a massive inspiration to me in terms of work that I've done over the years in purpose. And this is my interpretation of Ikigai. So for those that aren't familiar with Ikigai, it's a Japanese concept. It actually comes from Okinawa. So if anyone's ever watched like the Blue Zones, like the documentary about longevity and people that live a really, really long time, it's a concept, and it actually translates to, well, there's lots of different translations, but the translation that I use is happiness in being busy. A lot of people say, the reason you get out of bed every day, there's lots of kind of iterations of that, but ultimately the happiness in being busy. So when we look at the screen and when we look at that Venn diagram, which is actually a Western self-development kind of Venn diagram that was kind of placed into that Eastern concept, so that we've got a little bit of a hybrid going on there with West and East. But if we look at the 4 circles in that Venn diagram, at the top you get your loves, right? So what you're passionate about, what gets the fire in your belly going. Then we've got your skills, so what you're good at, what your strengths are. Then we've got what the world needs, okay? So are you able to provide value to the world? And then at the bottom, what you can be paid for, because we've all got to eat, right? So what happens is those 4 circles create intersections, and that represents your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. And if you can find something that sits in the middle of that, then that is your ikigai. That's your purpose, your power center, where you're going to be feeling like you are in complete flow, like you are in complete alignment, like you are cooking on gas. You're able to become the best possible version of yourself, possibly, unstoppable. So that feeling in the middle is like the holy grail. And what I will say is that if you are sat there right now thinking maybe this is the first time you've seen this, and maybe the first time you've really thought about purpose and what that could mean to you, your business, your life, how you feel every day, that, just as a bit of a caveat, this can be quite a deep topic, and it can be quite overwhelming if you perhaps haven't felt this way before, you haven't thought about these things. But what I would say is, you're not necessarily just going to find your power center, your ikigai, overnight. It's something that takes, like anything, it takes time, it takes practice, it takes inward reflections on all of these areas. There's lots of different exercises that can help you to do that. And if you want to reach out to me, then please do after this, and I can help you with that, or I can point you in the right direction. But I don't want anyone to be sat there feeling overwhelmed with this topic, because again, it isn't something that you're necessarily just going to find overnight. Okay, so if finding your purpose is that groundbreaking, that advantageous to your life and to your business, then why isn't everyone seeking it? What stops people finding their purpose? Well, I find that there's generally two areas of why people are holding back from finding their purpose, and you could probably relate these to lots of different areas of business and life, as why this people are held back. And firstly, it's a fixed mindset. Okay, so that need for certainty, keeps us safe, keeps us warm, keeps things predictable. But you probably heard the phrase that if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. Okay, so in order for things to change, for you to grow, then you need to start to become uncomfortable, and you need to be comfortable with becoming uncomfortable. And then secondly, self-limiting beliefs. Okay, so we all have the gremlins inside our mind telling us that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we're imposters, we don't deserve it. And these feelings often increase during times of challenge. When we're going through pressurized situations, those feelings, can take over if we allow them to. And these self-sabotaging stories that we tell ourselves can definitely hold us back. So to find our purpose, we need to change the narrative, okay? So we need to remember that mastering your fears starts with self-awareness and understanding that you hold the pen. You are the author of your story, and that you get to decide how the next chapter is written. So a little quote just for you to ponder. If we all did the things that we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. Thomas Edison, one of my favorite ones. Okay, so just a little bit of if anyone would like to connect outside of here, my community is the Ride and Hire community. It's designed for entrepreneurs, business owners. We've got lots of property professionals in there. It's a very, very positive environment. It's designed for those that are serious about growth, business growth, personal development, connection, collaboration, contribution. And I talk a lot about all of these topics, run challenges. I get external speakers to come on as well and provide value to the community. And it's a very, very positive space. So you would be very, very welcome to come in if you so wish. And to finish off, not selling you anything today. All that is, and in fact, I will, once we break for questions, I'll probably tap in the link for this if you can't scan it off your phone. But this is a free guide to the 6 steps that are going to help you to supercharge your energy and supercharge that intrinsic motivation within you to be able to power through both in your business and your life. This will give you an invitation into the Ride and Hire movement if you want to come in and have a little look and have a peruse. And as we all know now, this will bring you into my world. I send out an inspirational, motivational blog on a Friday, which you can be subscribed to. But I would be so happy and privileged and honoured to take any questions that you've got. Thank you so much for being so engaged. And I will stop sharing. I don't know if that's going to go back to you now, Willem.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you.
And the planet is big, so I can't see anyone.
Sorry, no, I can see you. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Cool. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions.
Yeah, do have a look in the pop some of them in the chat. I was busy filling the form to get the guide. Actually, got me.
Yeah. I will drop the link, which I've done now, into the chat for anyone that
Yeah,
wants to sign
thank you
up.
very much. So you mentioned you have a lot of property people, you know, in your group and things like that. So what do you find are people's, you know, like the biggest challenge people have, you know, when it comes to property and their energy? Anything that you can share that can relate to our members?
I think something that I find a lot of people struggle with, and I talked about this actually on a live yesterday, is that once that initial excitement of creating a new goal or a new business venture or a new deal, sometimes when that initial excitement starts to fade away, especially if it's like a longer term goal, it can start to become a bit of a struggle in order to continue to bring that motivation to keep on keeping on. And when we don't necessarily have those external factors, if those external factors aren't heavy on us, it can be a struggle, which is why there's a lot of people that, especially within the property world, that are maybe looking to create something new, new ventures, new hustles, new side hustles, which is something similar to what I did in terms of complements really nicely the property portfolio that I'm building in the business. But for me, it was like wanting to find my purpose, my ikigai. So that's what I found a lot of people do struggle with, is that kind of that momentum to keep pushing forward, especially when the challenges are starting to come in. Maybe not having the confidence to be able to put themselves out there, either in terms of asking for help or in terms of going out there and trying to get more opportunities. It's that kind of that imposter syndrome, that mindset that they don't want to be out there. They want to stay behind the screen.
Yeah, and maybe you talk about some when it gets challenging and things like that. So can we talk a bit about maybe the darker part where it's challenging. You find yourself in a challenging situation because just because of the goal you set yourselves and the deadline you set yourselves, and you've engineered this environment, or equally because of the situation you put yourself in, because maybe you've got some debt and maybe the deals didn't go as well as you thought, and now you borrowed money and things like that. And how can you, like get back on your feet, like when you've been a bit tumbled by either the situation by design or not, how can you like gain back this confidence and all the things you talk about, like linking back to the purpose and this the energy, bringing back, I can't remember the little flow of actions, bringing motivation and bringing back action and things like when you feel like it's going down, like because you've got a big challenge.
I think I don't know if anyone's familiar with Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he has a model of spheres of influence where essentially it's like things that are within your control, things that are kind of outside of your control but you can still influence, and then things that are just completely out of your control and your influence. And I think a lot of the times in business, in entrepreneurship, in property, it's that kind of acceptance that there's a lot of things that are out of our control naturally. And I'm a massive control freak, so that's something that I'm continuously working on. But I think sometimes it's being aware that there is a lot of things out of your control, that we need to be aware of when we're putting our energy into our day-to-day, and making sure that we're putting our energy into the things that we can control. And that's when it comes back to, okay, well, what's my goals? Have I, what's my bigger picture thinking? What's my vision? Where do I want to be? Does my vision align with my purpose? Therefore I'm going to feel fulfilled doing it, and it's going to feel good, and I'm going to have that fire in my belly to get up every day and take on whatever challenges are going to come my way, because that's a big one. If we don't enjoy what we're doing, when the challenges do come in, it's like, where's the motivation? But if something that we're super passionate about and we're driven and it's in line with our values and our purpose, then that gives us that extra spring in our step that we need to overcome these challenges when they come in, which again in property and business is like a daily occurrence. And again, focusing on what's in your control. So how's your day laid out? What structure and routines do you have in your day that you have complete control over? To work through things, to break things down into bite-sized chunks, but also to make sure that when the phones ring in, when the emails are coming in and people are trying to get your attention and they're trying to pull you into different areas, that you're able to go, does this align with my goals? Yes or no? Is this going to get me towards my long-term vision? Yes or no? And if it's a no, being comfortable to just get rid of it and park it. And again, I spend quite a lot of time going through kind of productivity hacks and ways in which to just increase our productivity. But again, it's having the tools. Like, we can have all the tools to do all the things, but ultimately it has to come from here as well, because that intrinsic motivation that needs to be there when you don't have a gun to your head to do something needs to be there in order to be able to push through to the long game. Because let's face it, everything that we're doing, it's not an overnight thing. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take resilience. Building up something. I talk about energy shield, which is essentially cultivating our resilience, building our armor. Making our offense and our defense. So, offense is growth mindset. Our defense is our resilience, and building that up as we go through as well. So yeah, sorry, that was a bit of a long-winded answer.
No, it's cool. And you talk about these spheres of influence and things we have in our control and not in our control. And you'd think like sleep, we all have the control over this. And I know I struggle with this sometimes, and there were some comments about this in the chat earlier. So I know how important it is, and it's the foundation to everything. But equally, I've got loads on. We're growing super quick, and lots of mouths to feed, and it's stressful, and all sorts of stuff. And there's really, it's all good problems to have. But like sometimes I've got this to-do list running around in my head, and then I've recently fallen into a bad habit, and it's taken months, where I would go to bed at 9, but I can't sleep for 2 hours. So I would put on an audiobook, and then I would just distract me. But it's a bad habit because you build up on needing something external, So now I'm in this catch-22 horrible, So I've got different issues with sleep and things like that. And it's just bouncing back on what you said about what we have in our control. I believe I've got control over my sleep, but I struggle, right? So how do you fall asleep, Lucy, to get more energy, right?
Great question. Going back to kind of what's in our control, what's not in our control, and like you said, business is going super well, and normally when things are like certain aspects of our life are going really well, we tend to maybe unconsciously or consciously maybe neglect other areas of our world, of our life. So we become really busy, and then potentially our health and well-being takes a hit. And I guess it's like every upside has a downside, and the downside of being busy is it's like more challenging to try and manage our life holistically. And I don't know if anyone's ever come across the dimensions of wellness, or the wellness wheel, when it's kind of looks like a Trivial Pursuit cheese, and lots of kind of sectors of your life, and it's trying to get that balance across the piece, I guess. But again, going back to your question, I think like everything, if you're starting to struggle in certain areas, it's taking that time and that inward reflection to try and get to the root cause of why that is. Kind of preventative is better than trying to treat something that's already happened. But also trying to get to the root cause of why that's happening. And I think self-awareness is key, and finding something that ultimately works for you. I mean, I know when when I went through our commercial to resi development, and we had to, I had to basically kick our principal contractor off site with 3 months to go. It was a pretty big project, so there was a lot of high pressure, and essentially I had to roll my sleeves up and get it finished. Thankfully, I had a really good relationship with all of our subcontractors, but that was, in the morning at 5, wasn't leaving site till 1 in the morning the next day, and I was really, really struggling to sleep. I think sometimes in that scenario, there's, it's a case of trying to grizz through it. But I used to put audibles on, relaxing kind of meditation, and I think it's just there's lots of tools and things to help us out there. It's just finding what works for you. Even if it's just practicing gratitude in the evening, or reading a book, or our phones and technology now is so not helping.
So bad, yeah.
I think kind of hiding your phone maybe in a safe, from 7 p.m. at night, so you can actually start to switch your brain off. Get away from that white light when we're in bed is going to really help. But yeah, I mean, sometimes things are just really stressful, and I guess that's when our resilience comes in.
Cool. So on resilience, how do we build more resilience on sort of? I'm glad you brought the idea. This thing of resilience here is because a lot of the time we don't know we have a problem until we have a problem, right? We don't know we need to be resilient until it doesn't mean nothing until we need to be resilient, right? So how do we sort of in sort of a growth journey, how do we build these things along the way? Maybe our routine or our habits. Like because I know, for example, I've got my young daughter, and it's a fine art of spoiling her enough, but also frustrating her enough so that she builds this resilience, right? So how do you do this to yourself as an adult? How can I do this to myself as a grown up, right? Or if I can call myself a grown up.
I think for me, it's about continuously pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and not staying where it's like nice and safe and comfortable and predictable, so then when something does happen, you're not able to really deal with it. I think it's continuously like being on that journey, being on that path, stepping outside the comfort zone, where the real growth and magic starts to happen, and being around positive forces, being around good energy, and practicing gratitude, manifestations, visualizing, making sure that you're super centered in everything that you do, for as much as you can be, being in flow. And I think it's I don't think it's one thing fixes one thing. I think it's more kind of holistic than that. It's more kind of multifactorial. I think sometimes, again, it's getting to the root cause, but building resilience, again, growth mindset. Again, it's a bit of a kind of fashionable word right now, but but understanding that these challenges are going to come no matter what. And I think if we can just retrain our mind to accept the fact that actually the fact that I'm getting challenged is a really good thing, because it means that I'm pushing forward. It means that I'm stretching myself. I'm creating tension, and I'm stretching myself beyond what feels comfortable. But then, we push there, we stay there for a little bit, and then that becomes the new norm, and that becomes the new set point. And then we're more resilient to those types of situations. So I think it's, constantly trying to grow and become the best versions of ourselves that we can be, surround ourselves with the right people, communities, people that can help us, mentors. Like I've got lots of mentors that help me, because each time we kind of step up and we want to move forward, then I believe that we need that support and guidance and accountability in helping us grow and get to where we want to get to.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have we got any sort of closing sentiment for us today?
Was that for me?
Yeah, for you, yeah. Sorry, throwing you under the bus again.
Yeah, I do. I think self-development, business growth, kind of hustling, like all of that stuff is amazing. And if we can find something that does align with our values, with our goals, with our purpose, with our vision, we can enjoy our businesses and creating futures for our families and you know, ourselves, that we deserve a life of happiness and success. But you know, the main thing is that we remember that, you know, it's not just about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about embracing that journey. It's about living that journey. It's about enjoying every single precious moment that we can, making the important things the important things. And you know, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Which is why, again, I think if we can find something that aligns with us deep inside, then that's going to give us the best possible life that we could dream of, really.
Yeah, love it. We're here for a good time, not for a long time. That's very much true, you know. And indeed, the way we live our days, you know, the way we live our days are the way we spend our life, right? So thanks so much for that. Thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your wisdom. Thank you to everyone else for joining us on today's Deal Finder Corner. In the meantime, you know, log on to propertyfilter.co.uk, log on to your Property Filter account, have an endless supply of deals, join the top 1% and become a high achiever deal finder. Do more deals in less time. I hope you enjoyed today's Deal Finder Corner like I did, and hope to see you next week. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Want to reach out, then please, I'm on the socials. Just connect with me if we're not already connected. It'd be great to connect. Yeah. Thank you for being a great audience. Thank you. Thanks.
They are the best. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Thank you.